Somebody sent me an email earlier that had an article from Forbes magazine. Stupid Forbes magazine. I know Steve Forbes. That magazine is garbage. It's not a magazine. It came from the website. Anyway, some guy talking about the U.S. debt and how eventually we're just going to be unavoidable a debt crisis. Here we go again. Now, I haven't spoken about this for a long time. I've done many, many, many videos on this about how this is totally, totally misunderstood and just mired in like unbelievable amounts of ignorance, okay? And I like when you guys send me stuff. I like when you guys send me articles. I know you do it with good intentions, but then I see something like this, it just aggravates me, man. It just aggravates me. An article is written by some guy named Bert+Dohman, and he's taught Dopey-Dohman, I'm going to call him, and he's talking about the debt going exponential, and eventually it's just going to lead to a debt collapse. Now this is just totally false and totally wrong. And we've heard these memes, we've heard these stories about the U.S. debt, we've heard it about Japan debt from people who are clueless idiots. The United States has no debt. First of all, right off the bat, it's ludicrous to even say that a country has to borrow its own money that it has the monopoly power to issue. Okay, it's just right there on its face is completely absurd. All right, but the United States has no debt. It spends in its own currency, in dollars. That 19 trillion represents all the dollars ever created as a result of spending, minus everything taken away in the form of taxation since 1789, 227 years. So $19.5 trillion have piled up over that period of time in the banking system, and those dollars are held in the form of treasury securities. And treasury securities are nothing more than dollars that have a term and a coupon. That means they have a maturity, a certain length of time, and they have an interest payment attached to it. Everything's been paid for. We don't borrow dollars from the Chinese. We don't borrow dollars from the Japanese. I mean, the whole thing is absurd. It's ridiculous. And to pay it back, which it doesn't have to be paid back because it's already been paid, but if somebody wants cash dollars, reserve balances, as opposed to holding a treasury, then the Fed just takes the treasury back, it debits the treasury, the securities account, and it credits the reserve account. It's like you telling your bank, hey, switch my money from my savings account to my checking account. All right? Just it's a bookkeeping entry. That's it. That's it. There's no freaking debt. That's how come it keeps going up. And if you look at a chart of the debt, look, in 1980, the debt was $800 billion and interest rates were 20%. Now it's $19.5 trillion, the supposed debt, and interest rates are zero or 50 basis points, whatever. In some places, the debt is negative, the rates are negative, like in Japan, and they have a debt supposedly 3 times bigger than ours. So all this shit is nonsense. It's from stupidity. Guys like Dopey-Dohman. I can believe that Forbes gives him a platform to write, because Forbes is an idiotic publication. Steve Forbes is a moron. He still thinks we ought to be on a gold standard. It's unbelievable. So when I see things like this, it upsets me, and it upsets me also for the following reason: that I am certain, 100% certain, and I made this prediction before, that at some point, maybe not too far in the future, we are going to destroy our economy, we are going to destroy our prosperity because of this false understanding of the debt. I've always said that a bad belief system is like a disease in the body. If you don't eradicate the disease, then it kills the body. And this is what this is, a bad belief system. People ask me, Mike, they've come over, they've watched my videos, they started to understand MMT, they've been enlightened by this stuff, and they say, Mike, maybe they came over from the idiot Schiff point of view, and now they see the truth, and they're like, this stuff is so logical and so easy to understand. Why do we keep doing what we're doing? Well, the answer to that is the people at the top, it's not in their interest to change. They love the way things are right now, because that's just a way, a scheme by which they could funnel all the wealth and the power up to themselves. If you start to make everything very equal and egalitarian, and have MMT concepts applied, then it takes the power away from those people and it takes the control away from those people. We're never going to see it. I've spent so much time, and I'm an outspoken guy. I've spent so much time trying to, spread this stuff, but now I just focus on making money and teaching people how to make money, because in our environment, in this country, in Western countries, if you make money, you're going to be fine. If you don't make money, they will crush you. They will take everything. They will suck the freaking life out of you. They will suck your last drop of blood. And believe me, that's what they're going to do. Stuff like Social Security, Medicare, that's all going to be privatized. Hillary's a big backer of privatization of that stuff. Why? Because Wall Street wants their hands on it. Pete Peterson, the Peterson Foundation, these idiots that fix the debt, who are constantly pumping out propaganda about the debt. I find myself like nonstop on Twitter posting shit to refute every single thing that they post up there. But I'm one guy. I can't. It's never going to happen. The only thing I can do to fight against this is to do what I'm doing, to make money and to help you people make money. But Bert+Dohman's article, again, it's a complete and utter bunch of crap. That's all it is. We have no debt. Everything's been paid for in dollars, and people are just holding the dollars in a savings account called a treasury security. That's it. We don't borrow our own dollars, and swapping a reserve balance for a treasury is a simple bookkeeping entry by the Fed. The treasury says, okay, give the guy his cash, give us back the treasury. The Fed does that. The Fed's the government's bank. That's it. It's like you telling your bank to switch your money from your savings account to your checking account. It does what you tell it to do. That's it. There's no debt. You know what's funny? Let me just leave you off with this. This idiot, Bert+Dohman, you know how all these guys like Schiff and all these other morons, for years they were saying the debt is going to cause interest rates to spike through the roof. We're not going to be able to borrow, quote unquote. The Chinese are not going to lend to us. When interest rates went down to zero, now they're saying, you see, interest rates have to be zero or negative, otherwise we wouldn't be able to afford all this debt. So they've completely flipped around on their whole, premise. Nobody's calling them out on that. Well, you said interest rates are going to spike. Now you're saying they're going to have to stay down. Then they'll go back up again, interest rates, because the Fed thinks it has to raise it. These guys are clueless. They are absolutely clueless fucking morons, all right? Bert+Dohman. But you can keep sending me stuff. I like it. Bye.